The night had been long, but for Mara Lewis it was finally supposed to end. The soft hum of the coolers echoed through the quiet convenience store, mixing with the lingering smell of coffee grounds. Outside, the world looked calm under the fading light of the setting sun. Mara wiped down the counter, exhaustion written all over her face, but there was a quiet contentment in her eyes. She was ready to turn off the lights, lock up, and finally go home. But fate had other plans, the kind that twist ordinary nights into ones you never forget. Just as Mara reached for the key to close the register, the doorbell chimed. 3 men walked in. Before she could greet them, she felt it, something cold. Not from the air conditioning, but from their eyes. The tall one in front smirked, his boots thudding against the tiled floor. "We're not here to buy," he said with a grin that made her stomach turn. His 2 friends followed, laughing under their breath, their shadows stretching long across the floor. Mara's heart began to race. She glanced at the clock. 10 minutes past closing. She was alone. Or at least, she thought she was. If you believe kindness, courage, and standing up for what's right can still change the world, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Corner. It helps stories like this reach more hearts. Trying to stay calm, Mara said softly that the store was closed. But the men only stepped closer. The one in the leather jacket, his name tag read Kyle, laughed. "Closed?" he echoed mockingly. "We're just getting started." One leaned lazily against the counter, pretending to study candy bars. Another, in a red flannel, moved toward the side aisle, quietly blocking her exit. The air grew heavy, suffocating. Mara thought of her mother at home, always saying, "You never know who walks into your life, some to hurt you, some to save you." Her trembling hands clutched the counter. Kyle leaned closer, his breath reeking of alcohol. "What's wrong, sweetheart?" he taunted. "Nervous?" When she didn't answer, he grabbed the front of her red shirt and yanked her forward. The fabric tore with a sharp rip, a sound that shattered something inside her more than the cloth ever could. She gasped, stumbling back, trying to pull free, but his grip was unrelenting. The other 2 burst into cruel laughter. "Guess we found some entertainment tonight," one sneered. Tears stung her eyes, but she refused to let them fall. She couldn't give them that satisfaction. Her mind raced, searching for a way out. But fear had frozen her body. Then, as if the universe had heard her silent cry, a sound came from the back of the store, a soft thud, a step, then another. The men turned, startled. Mara followed their gaze. From between the aisles, 3 shadows emerged, moving with calm, heavy precision. Their boots echoed against the clean tiles. The laughter died instantly. The leader stepped into the light, a tall, rugged man in his late 40s, with a salt-and-pepper beard and tattoos trailing down his arms. His black leather vest bore the unmistakable emblem, Hell's Angels. The patch on his chest read, R.L. Chills. Behind him walked 2 others, one bald, with a long dark beard, the other younger, with shoulder-length hair and sunglasses perched on his head. They looked like men who'd seen enough of the world to recognize trouble when it showed up. Mara stood frozen behind the counter as the bikers stopped a few feet. Away, silence, thick, electric, the leader's calm, steel-gray eyes locked onto Kyle's hand. Still gripping her torn shirt, his voice was low, steady, dangerous. "You might want to let go of that," Kyle chuckled, forcing bravado he didn't feel. "What's it to you, old man?" The biker didn't answer. He just took a single step forward. The air seemed to shift. Kyle hesitated, then released Mara's shirt. His smirk faltered. His friends went silent. "You boys had your fun," the biker said evenly. "Now you're going to walk out, calmly. But thugs don't like being told what to do, especially by men who don't flinch." Kyle spat on the floor. "You think you can scare us?" he snapped, though his voice trembled. That was his mistake. The younger biker cracked his knuckles. The bald one tilted his head, smirking faintly, as if he'd seen this scene 100 times before. The leader's eyes never left Kyle's. "No," he said softly. I don't think. I know. What happened next wasn't a fight. It was a storm. Over in seconds, Kyle tried to shove the biker. His arm was caught mid-swing, twisted, and he hit the floor. Groaning in pain, the second man lunged, but the bald biker slammed him against the counter, hard enough to rattle the shelves. The third froze completely. Hands raised, backing away until he hit the door. The bell chimed as he bolted outside. The others stumbled after him, shouting something no one bothered to hear. Then, silence. Mara stood trembling behind the counter, clutching what remained of her torn shirt. Eyes wide in disbelief. The leader turned to her, his tone soft now. You okay, miss? She nodded, barely able to speak. Her voice cracked when she whispered, Thank you. He gave a small nod. Keep your lights on a few more minutes, he said. You're never as alone as you think. And with that, the three bikers turned toward the door. Their reflections flickered across the glass as they stepped out into the fading sunlight. Mara stood still, heart slowing, tears spilling down. Not from fear this time, but from relief. Outside, the roar of motorcycles broke the silence, fading into the distance for the first time in a long while. She felt safe. She realized that heroes don't always wear badges or capes. Sometimes they wear leather vests and carry a quiet kind of kindness that doesn't need to be spoken. If this story touched your heart and reminded you that goodness can come from the most unexpected souls, please like, share, and subscribe to Kindness Corner. And before you go, tell us in the comments, what would you have done if you were in Mara's shoes that night? Because sometimes the bravest thing we can do is believe that kindness still walks among us, even when it comes wearing tattoos, leather, and a heart that refuses to look away when someone needs saving.